Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Below there's a button that says subscribe. If you can click on that button, that would be fantastic. There's also a bell icon, and if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be wonderful. Today we're going to be making one of Barbados' favorites, and that is turnovers. A few people have asked me to make turnovers. So what I have here, what we're going to start with is we're going to start by activating our yeast. So I have here a cup of milk. This is whole milk. I have a cup of whole milk. I have a quarter cup of sugar, and I have here some yeast, and I'm going to open this yeast because I want 4 teaspoons of yeast, and I'm going to add the sugar and the yeast to my milk. Now my milk needs to be 115 degrees. I already warmed it. I have here a little thermometer that I'm going to check in a few minutes to make sure it's 115, and I'm going to add this stuff together, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down for a few minutes, for 10 minutes, and put the other stuff together. So while I am assembling the other stuff, this will be sitting for 10 minutes. So this is what I'm going to get started with first. So let me go ahead now and open my yeast so I can measure out 4 teaspoons. I don't know how much is in here, so I'm not going to put the whole pack in. I'm just going to measure it to see how much it is. I'm going to put 2 of them in here. It says it's a tablespoon. I'm assuming it's a tablespoon, but I'm just going to measure it just to be on the safe side. First, I'm going to check the temperature of my milk to make sure it's 115. Let me see here. Okay, my milk, the temperature of my milk, guys, is 100. I need it to be 115. So I'm going to put this milk in the microwave for a few minutes to bring it up, to bring the temperature up. I checked my milk and it come to 115 degrees. So I heat it up in a microwave. So this is good. So what I'm going to do now is I have a teaspoon. I want 4 teaspoons of yeast to put into my milk. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 teaspoons of yeast in there, and now I have a quarter cup of sugar. I'm gonna add that to that, and then I'm gonna stir this really well. So this, again, remember, is warm milk, my sugar, and my yeast that I'm warming up. So now I'm gonna put this aside and let it sit. Let me just make sure it's all stirred up well. Okay, guys, I stirred the yeast and the sugar and the milk, so I'm gonna set this aside for 10 minutes. So let me tell Alexa 10 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, Alexa has started my timer for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna go on to the next process. We finished with the yeast. We don't need any more of that. So the next step here is to get our dough started. So in here I have 2 3/4 cups of flour. Now I'm going to measure out half a teaspoon of salt. This is my half a teaspoon here. Half a teaspoon of salt I just put in there. And guys, I have this whole thing is half a cup of butter. What I'm gonna do, let me move stuff out of your way so you can see. What I'm gonna do is take my butter. I'm going to cut, this is cold butter. I didn't put it at room temperature. I left it in the refrigerator. So what I'm gonna do is take this flour, this butter, and I'm gonna cut it into small pieces. I'm gonna cut it into small pieces and just drop it into my flour. First I should mix up that salt with that, right? And then just drop it in here. I'm just cutting it into little squares. And that's it, guys. Now I'm gonna go in with clean fingers in here, and I'm gonna take my butter and mix it up with my flour by just pinching it with my fingers and incorporating the butter and the flour together. By the time you're done, it should look something like breadcrumbs. So I'm just gonna, when I was little, I don't remember, my grandmother was a good baker, but I don't remember her ever making turnovers. I don't think she ever made these. I think when we wanted turnovers, we always bought this. We never made these before. She never made these. So this is what my flour look like. They say like pea size right here. You see that? It's small. So this is what my flour looks like. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my yeast and I'm gonna pour it in here with my flour, and I'm just gonna mix this up. If you have a mixer, would be good to put it in. I don't have a mixer. I was thinking of putting my food processor, but food processor goes really fast. So I'm just gonna use, I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna use my hand, and I'm gonna blend this here. I'm gonna mix this up for 5 minutes, guys. I'm gonna mix this in here, and I'm gonna keep mixing it for 5 minutes. And when the 5 minutes is up, then we'll go on to the next step. Got rid of the spoon. The spoon wasn't doing a good job. This is too tough for the spoon. So I'm using my hand. Oops. I set my timer for 5 minutes to make sure I do this for 5 minutes by hand. So I set my timer, and I'm here rolling it for 5 minutes. It should be sticky, but not sticky where it's sticking to your hands. Now as you see, it's not sticking to my hand, and it is sticky. But so I'm gonna keep kneading this here until my Alexa tells me that my 5 minutes is up. Okay guys, so I have been kneading this dough for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is up. So what I'm gonna do now, and you see the 5 minutes is up, it is sticky, but it's not sticking to my hands, okay? It's not sticking to my hands, and this is how it should be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my oil here and just spray my pan, my bowl, and I put this in here, and I'm gonna cover this with a plastic wrap, and I'm gonna sit it down for 1 hour until it has doubled in size. So I'm just gonna sit this down for at least an hour, and then I'll be back to show you the next process. So now our dough is sitting for 1 hour. So while the dough is sitting, what I'm gonna do is get our filling together. So I have here for my filling 2 cups of coconut, and I have here 2/3 cups of sugar, and I'm gonna add the sugar to the coconut. I have some cinnamon here. I need half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Is this my half? This is my half right here. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm gonna do one teaspoon of almond. This is almond extract. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon. And this is a waiting game, guys. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna mix this all up together, and then I'm gonna set it aside to rest. And while it is resting, we'll just wait for our hour until our hour is up, or till our dough has it has doubled in size, and then we'll go on to the next step. But right now it's just waiting on our dough to rise. Okay, so I will see you back, guys, in an hour. So Alexa just reminded me my hour is up for my dough. So here's my dough. My dough has risen in size. So now they say you have to punch it down. So I punch my dough down, and I am going to take my dough out and put it here on my counter, and I'm going to roll it in a log, because I need 10 pieces of this dough. So I am going to try to get this into 10 equal sizes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4. Okay, guys, so I'm going to try to get 5 pieces from here and 5 pieces from here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Guys, and here's my 10. So I have my pan here prepared. So instead of greasing my pan, I'm gonna use some parchment paper. I'm just preparing my pan. I'm just gonna rest my pan over here, guys. Now I have my 10 dough here, so I'm gonna roll it out a little bit. I'm trying to make more like an oval shape, and I'm gonna roll it out maybe like 3 to 4 inches out, and then I'm gonna spread it out. See, I want that oval shape. I take a little bit of my coconut filling and put in here. And then what I do is I take the edge, and I bring my edge in like that. And I take this edge and I bring it in like this, and then I'm gonna roll it, guys. Roll it like a log, and put it down on my pan like that. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And just open it up. Got it open up. Then we take our filling, and you're gonna not go all the way to the end with your filling, okay, guys, because you want to roll the end. So you're not gonna go all the way to the end. You're gonna just gently fold the top, gently fold the bottom, and then you're gonna just roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. There we go. Roll it over and just roll it like a log, and put it on your pan. Okay, guys, see, that's my oval shape. And put some in the center. I don't think I'm going to need all of this coconut I have here. See, guys, that's what it looks like. And then you just turn one side, you turn the other side, and then you just roll your log. Then you put it in. So I've rolled them all. They're all 10. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put this back to sit for another 30 minutes. I'll cover it. We have to wait for another 30 minutes. I'll be back in 30 minutes before I put them in. So here's the turnovers. I had them sitting for another 30 minutes. Let me take this plastic off. They were sitting for 30 minutes. So now what I have here is I have 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of water that I mixed together. So what I'm gonna do with this is I am going to just baste the turnovers a little bit, and then I'm gonna put these in the oven. My oven is already set for 350 degrees. I'm gonna leave these in there for 15 minutes. When the 15 minutes is up, I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna baste it again, and I'm gonna put them back in for 5 minutes. And guys, I didn't mention this just now, is when I put the donut, I keep saying donuts, when I put the turnovers in the pan, I put them like a 1/4 inch from each other, okay? So remember that when you're making yours, a 1/4 inch from each other. So these are already basted, so I am going to put them in the oven, and I will be back in 15 minutes to show you what they look like. And one other thing, guys, is when I forgot to mention earlier too, is when I had first put on, by the way, this is 15 minutes, so I just took them out of the oven, so I'm basting them again. I think this one's too far apart there. But I was supposed to sprinkle some brown sugar on the top. I didn't, because I don't like that crunch on the top with the brown sugar, but I forgot to mention that earlier. But when you put on your first set of water and sugar, you can sprinkle some sugar on the top if you want. Everything is optional, you don't have to. Okay, this was in for 15 minutes already, and I took it out. So now I'm gonna put it in for another 5 minutes, and then it should be done. Okay guys, so our turnovers are finished, and it took a little while to do these turnovers. So let me tell you how long it took. First, it took 10 minutes, because once we put the milk, the sugar, and the yeast together, we had to let that sit for 10 minutes. Then we started on our dough, and once our dough was complete, and once our dough was finished, we had to sit it and put it to sit for 1 hour. When the hour was up, we came back, we rolled our turnovers, and we had to put them to sit for another 30 minutes. And once that was done, then it went into the oven for 15 minutes. Then I took them out, I basted them again, and then I put them in for, again, was supposed to be for 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes or until it's golden brown. So it took another 10 minutes to get golden brown. So in all, it took me all together. So in all, these turnovers took about 2 hours, guys. So it wasn't, it's not hard to do, but it's time consuming, because it takes a while to do. So if you don't mind taking that time, you go right ahead and do it. It took 2 hours to do, but it was not hard to do. It's just a matter of getting everything together and just assembling things. So now here is our turnovers, and they look pretty good to me. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to try one and taste one for you. That is all the sugar and so on from the coconut. Looks good to the bottom. Let me taste it. Look, guys, see how it rips apart, how moist it is? It just rips right apart, very moist. Let's try it. I'm in Barbados. It's good. I feel like I'm at Nichols or somebody eating a turnover. It tastes really good. Guys, you can make your turnovers. They don't have to come out perfect. As long as you make them and you can get the taste from it, and you know, that's just good. It tastes really good. Rashad, now you know how to make your own turnovers. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I had fun making these, and I hope you have fun making some for your friends and your family. Until next time, bye-bye.